to bring in Madison and Kyle from Aspire IQ, and we're going to do 2 back-to-back sessions on influencer marketing. This is going to be that full-fledged, I almost want to call it traditional influencer marketing strategy, if that makes sense. Does that sound about right, Madison?
Yeah, that sounds great.
It's funny to call it traditional since it's only been a few years. Having a platform so powerful that can help us organize and execute on like a large scale campaign. I'm really looking forward to seeing your presentation. I've got Kyle in here as well. Kyle, you're staying on the back, I think, but I'll let you go ahead and introduce yourself, and I'll be on the sideline taking notes.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah, so I'm so excited to be chatting with you all today and speaking virtually at this conference. So in my session today, I'll be discussing insight into the #1 overlooked strategy for increasing sales through social commerce. So to get started, my name is Madison Smith, the Senior Marketing Strategist at Aspire IQ, and I work alongside our brand partners to help them develop influencer and community strategies that will ladder up to their broader business objectives. And if you're unfamiliar with Aspire IQ, we are a community intelligence marketing platform that empowers brands to build, manage, and grow relationships with everyone they consider to be influential in their community. So those brands can connect with consumers, drive brand loyalty, and in turn, fuel business growth. So before we dive deeper, I want to go ahead and set a quick agenda. So after this session, you should understand how to drive sales by partnering with your community, what type of creative is more important than ever for social commerce, and how to easily incorporate this strategy into your existing marketing playbook. So to start it off, what is social commerce? This is such a hot topic right now, especially with the August announcement of Facebook that they updated its social shopping features across both Facebook and Instagram. And the best way I've seen it described is how strategy expert Anna Angelica describes it. She described it as social commerce is anything that combines content, community, and commerce. So it's the merging of inspiration and transaction. Essentially, social commerce is the ability to make a product purchase from a third-party company, all within the native social media experience. And it's currently being looked at as a new era of shopping, which is pretty cool. And the main platforms that are leading the charge on social commerce are, as I mentioned, Facebook and Instagram, as well as Pinterest. And we all know consumers are heavily influenced in their buying habits through social media. So why not meet them where they are and make a seamless experience to purchase products without having to wait for a website to load on your phone? Social commerce benefits both enterprise and small businesses. For enterprise businesses, social commerce creates that small business feel. Basically, you can set up essentially a more personalized storefront on your social channels for customers. And for small businesses, social commerce gives them the tools to capitalize on an already strong social strategy. The best way to incorporate this into your existing marketing strategy is to optimize your social commerce on channels that already perform well for either your business or for your industry. So the first top channel is Instagram Shops, and you can see some stats here. So Shops gives brands the ability to build and customize their storefront and communicate directly with consumers through WhatsApp and Facebook Messenger. Facebook Shops is ultimately best for small businesses and is optimized for mobile. The second is Pinterest social commerce feature called Shoppable. This feature enables Pinterest users to browse in-stock inventory from newly added shop tabs on search and on Pinterest boards. Shoppable is one of the top social commerce tools because people use Pinterest as a visual discovery tool and already have the intent to purchase when they go to the platform than any other platform. A case study with Pinterest and brand Modern Citizen showed that they saw a 73% uptick in sales through Pinterest by enabling buyable pins. You can't beat that. The third top social commerce channel is Instagram's social commerce features, which are Instagram Shopping and Instagram Checkout. Instagram Shopping is a set of features across the app that let people shop your photos and videos no matter what page they're on. They could find your products through tapping a shopping tag embedded in your video post, visiting a brand's Instagram shop page that they discovered on the Explore page. They could be served one of your shopping ads while scrolling through their feed. They can add a product to their bag while watching an Instagram Live, or come across your products through an influencer's post. So on Instagram, there's so many different ways that you could use social commerce. Knowing that 70% of shopping enthusiasts turn to Instagram for shopping inspiration, and 87% of people turn to influencers to inspire them to make a purchase, Instagram Shops is by far the most beneficial social commerce platform for brands of all sizes. Which brings me to the number one most important part of achieving success through social commerce: influencer-generated content. The influencer industry is really nothing new and has seen tremendous growth in recent years. And at Aspire IQ, we educate brands every day on the power of influencer-generated content, or IGC, and its ability to scale creative for every channel. It's cost-effective and fast, diverse and authentic, and it's already optimized for digital and social. You just can't get better than that. That's why when it comes to social commerce and driving sales through social media platforms, influencer-generated content is key to success. So one of the most misunderstood aspects of the influencer marketing industry, though, is that you should only look to generate content through those with high follower counts. In our world, especially at Aspire IQ, this is something we educate our brands on every day. Everyone is an influencer, no matter what your follower count is. Influencer-generated content can really come from anyone in your brand's community because they all have influence in one way or another. I know we've all heard the word community thrown around a lot, especially this year, and used in many different ways. So I wanted to give the definition that we always say at Aspire IQ. So we say that community is a group of people, like-minded customers, creatives, professionals, experts, employees, and supporters who share a passion tied to a brand. This connection is two-way. The community is invested in the brand beyond what it simply sells, so it evangelizes the brand to their networks. To reciprocate, brands that take the opportunity to truly listen to their communities can improve their products and services based on the feedback from the people who matter most. By tapping into your brand community for content, you generate a stockpile of highly optimized creative that you should in turn repurpose on your social commerce product pages, like you can see here. Flat lays, unrealistic bodies, and bland product shots are no longer enough to compete in the fast-paced, ever-changing landscape of social media, let alone social commerce. So I want you to think about it. Say you were shopping for a new hair care product to control frizz. Are you more likely to purchase a product based on content of simply a beauty product's packaging, or content that features someone who looks to have the exact same hair type as you, giving you a step-by-step tutorial on how the product tames your frizz? To show all of a brand's products, optimize for digital, for different social commerce channels, with educational photo and video content that portrays numerous diverse audiences, is essential to the buyer journey. And it's just impossible to check all those boxes without tapping into your community of content creators. This type of content for social commerce can easily fit into your current marketing playbook because you can keep the same marketing initiatives and campaign themes. Your community of content creators can take the lead on what works best for your industry as well. A home decor brand can gather content of their products styled in real customers' homes. A beauty brand can have an influencer on their Instagram Live demonstrating a makeup look that allows viewers to shop each product right as the Instagram Live is taking place. A food brand can partner with an expert chef to create shoppable Pinterest content to buy ingredients in real time. The possibilities are truly endless for brands' social commerce experiences. So because of the newness of social commerce, we don't have a lot of case studies around content performance. But based on what we've seen with Pinterest alone, we predict that there will be tons of success stories to share. We do, however, know that leveraging IGC on your websites and in paid ads is a tried and true strategy, one that leads to improved performance across the board. Based on case studies from Aspire IQ and some of our partners like Curelate, here are some quick stats. A brand in the home decor space saw 60% lower cost per click when leveraging influencer-generated content and retargeting ads. A brand in the tech space saw 11% lower CPA when featuring IGC in Facebook ads. And when influencer content was displayed on a retailer's PDP, brands reported up to 4 times lift in conversion for those products. This is all to show the power that influencer content currently has on marketing channels. And social commerce, if anything, will further cement how important IGC is to drive ROI. So as Forbes puts it, social commerce could eclipse e-commerce. And while that title might be playing on clickbait, we do strongly believe that the future of commerce lives on social. And with that, socially optimized content, like influencer-generated content, is more critical than ever to brands. As you think about your own social commerce strategy, I encourage you to do 3 things. 1, start stockpiling high-quality content for whatever products you want to promote on social commerce. 2, test different social commerce platforms and set Google alerts for things like TikTok commerce, Instagram shopping, and Facebook shops. That way you'll be the very first to know when updates occur. And 3rd, of course, a shameless plug, but get in touch with us at Aspire IQ if you want to talk more in detail about your brand's social commerce and influencer strategy. So if you have any further questions, please feel free to contact myself or any of our strategy team members to talk through all things social commerce strategy. And you can reach us at hello@aspireiq.com. Thanks so much.
Awesome. Let's see. I'm looking at a question here from Teresa. We do have some extra time, so let's go ahead and get into it. Teresa says, we struggle to get our influencers to produce quality content. Are there any resources you can recommend to help teach influencers how to create better content? And Teresa, first thing, if you didn't catch Neil Schaefer's opening keynote from yesterday, that'll be on demand on our YouTube in a couple of days. That will help you answer this question. But Madison, what are your thoughts on this?
So honestly, the number one way to produce quality content is paying influencers. To be completely honest, we're no longer really in an age where you can do a lot of product only campaigns. Some do work, but that is usually why you get lower quality content. And I talk to brands about this all day long, and it's because you really need to not necessarily see influencers as just their influence, but on their ability to create quality content, and they need to be an extension of your brand. So just as you pay your employees to run your social media, to create emails, to run your website, you pay them monetarily for that work. So you need to see influencers as almost freelance content creators, just like you would pay, photographers, whatever it may be, to produce quality content as well. And that's where we really see the heightening of the quality of the content, is when you actually, pay them monetarily for the value of their content. Because a lot of times you'll get lower quality content. Or another way you can do it, if you just really don't have the budget to pay influencers, or just pay anyone within your community. I mean, on Aspire IQ, we do have the ability to pull in anybody who has mentioned you. And there are people who, they may have like 2,500 followers, but they love you so much that they're actually already creating really amazing content. So it may just be that you're not finding people who are just producing that quality content in the beginning. And so with a platform like ours at Aspire IQ, you can actually see every single person who has mentioned you, and then you can invite them to your campaign. So no matter if they have 2,000 followers or 200,000 followers, you can see every person and you see their content first. So it's not that you're just reaching out to them for their follower count, you're reaching out to them for their actual quality content.
Yeah, I'm with you, except, so I agree. And Teresa is saying that she's working on a commission per sign up basis. And yeah, this is where you blend the lines between a influencer program and like a brand ambassador program is where, it's kind of looking very similar. And so for that reason, you might experience low quality content. Where I disagree, especially since we have the CEO of Caro coming on next, and I've seen the power of their tool, there is a lot of value in that long tail of lower quality brand ambassadorship and product placement ambassadors. And at BoxyCharm, we grew that ambassadorship to thousands of charmers. We would send them their box a little bit early. They would post on social, and then everybody's feeds would be overwhelmed. So it did work. It's just that the quality of their content isn't that top shelf influencer that you'd want. Sometimes it actually isn't. You don't need top shelf quality in order to have top shelf like return on investment. So do think about those two things separately. Sometimes depending on the brand, you need some form of prestige in what maybe you're sharing on your own social from influencers, or what you might put on the website from the influencers. And so in that way, yeah, you need high quality professional photography, and you need to be willing to pay, 1,000, 5,000, 10,000, 50,000 for that influencer to commit to the quality standard that you have. One other thing on that front
you don't even
is
need that much money though. That is a lot of money for one influencer. I think that
we paid Cardi B 60, I think, at one point. So, and that was a good deal. We got, but every once in a while you got to pay a lot. I think the other thing worth noting is that you can set up specific brand guidelines. There is, even a one pager as far as, take shot in bright lighting, use greenery in your background, do overlay photo shoots, make sure that the box is next to the product. Things like that, just a really quick brief helps align people. And that can help a lot with the brand ambassadorship and low end side. I find that the larger influencers you pay, no matter how much you tell them what to do, they just do whatever the hell they want. And then you just deal with it.
Yeah, a lot of times they will create content based on their own feed. And so our Aspire IQ platform, one, helps you flush out that we have a whole content guideline section. So you can specifically put in there like what kind of content you're looking for. You can put in examples, but you can also review the content too. So you can say like, hey, like, oh, we didn't want your hand in the shot, or, we don't want this in the shot, or this lighting isn't good. So it helps you with the content. But yeah, with influencers, most of the time that they're going to create content that does well on their own feed. And so we always instruct, ask for those additional images that aren't edited, don't have filters on them, because that's content that does well on their feed. But you want those raw, unedited videos or photos to be able to then edit for your own feed.
Yeah, agree completely. And so let's go ahead and talk about that in a little bit more detail, because we have a couple extra minutes, and I'm trying to make sure that we've got David. David, if you're in chat, by the way, say hello so that I can make sure that I've got you here. But tell me about Your platform's amazing. You actually, I'm really surprised. I wanted to see a little bit more about Aspire IQ. When should I come to you as a brand and be thinking seriously about? I mean, I think it's a pretty penny to start working with Aspire IQ, so, right? It's not a low end tool, is what I mean, right?
Yeah,
It's
it's not
worth every dollar because
just
it's
starting
going to
off.
save on the influencer front and on the efficiency side. But when should I come to you? Maybe I've got here. Teresa's got 250 influencers that she's managing. She might be now, after this conversation, thinking about moving a little bit more up market. What do you think? When's the right time to look for a tool like yours?
For our tool specifically, it's definitely somebody who's dipped their toes in the water of influencer marketing. They do see that there is potential success that they're seeing with influencers. They have buy-in from their higher ups, and that's really the best way to then come over and get a platform like Aspire IQ when you no longer can kind of handle it just on, it's not like 5 to 10 people that you can kind of easily manage within your inbox. That definitely is something that a lot of brands do on our platform, work with a small amount of people. But once you really understand the value in influencer marketing is really the best way to then come and bring on a platform. Yet, as you said, yes, it costs a little more than other platforms, but that also comes with somebody like myself. I am on the strategy team. And so right from the beginning, you have an entire onboarding where we go over with you what you've done in the past with influencers, what you want to do in the future with influencers, and how you can kind of craft the strategy and what types of influencers you want to work with. And then we also have a dedicated customer success manager that is really an extension of your own team. So there's somebody that you can go to for any questions you might have, for help with campaign creation, whatever it may be. And then we also have quarterly business reviews as well. And you can have strategy sessions one-on-one with me. If you've been on our platform for a year and you're just like, okay, we're doing a whole rebrand. Like, how should we now help influencers launch our new rebrand or whatever it may be? There's a lot of beneficial assets that come with not just, utilizing the platform and being able to log in. You have a lot of other educational elements as well.
Yeah, I agree completely. And I think as you get a bit more serious on your campaign, it's and we were just talking about customer service. And when do you bring in a help desk? I think with influencer marketing, I think some people go to the platform a little early. I like to see success. I want to see revenue generated from my influencers. I can manage by spreadsheet and find them, essentially on Instagram, or I should know them if I'm in my own industry, right? I should know at least a few dozen people to reach out to. And as you build that repository, you're going to realize that you need a little bit more scale. And that's exactly when you go, okay.
That's a great quick answer.
And we were just talking about, as a business owner, you need to be thinking about how to build those foundational components that you put, and once it's a little bit of processes there and you've got a person dedicated to it, now that person's whole job, literally, I think influencer manager's whole job is to live in Aspire IQ, coordinate on calls and an email with influencers, and then follow up with analytics and reporting up to their boss, who should be like the director of marketing, head of marketing, CMO kind of person. And in that way, you've got like a really fluid kind of line of thought so that you can connect influencer to the other, not just marketing, but like you also need to connect it to operations. Like, what products do we want to push because of inventory management, or because, of new innovations, or what we're seeing in our e-commerce store versus our retail, and all sorts of things. So it gets really complicated really quick from that coordination standpoint. And the last thing you want to do is get stuck in email and spreadsheets and, having to PayPal 80 different people, and and keeping all track of that. I've had to work closely with the CFO, when we're going through $300,000 of expenditures, and it's like, okay, did this influencer ROI? How are we going to know? It becomes a pile of paperwork really quickly, I guess. But not to discourage anybody, just in order to do it properly, I think, you really want to put those foundational processes in place and incrementally decide, how are we going to build this budget, because I mean, I've got snow on the shelf behind me. You can almost see it here. And they are an influencer centric brand. They worked with like the Kardashians and a whole bunch of major influencers to promote their teeth whitening solution. And it makes perfect sense for them. And I think not every brand is completely influencer centric, but all of them have the opportunity to unlock some form of influencer relationship in their business. So, all right.
Yeah.
With
And
that said, go ahead.
oh, sorry. No, I was just going to say one last thing. And it's really, it's not just about the influencers too. It's about the content they create. And that can really be repurposed into every single channel within your business. So they are very much more than just, you know, their follower count.
Yeah. And in some cases it's almost like hiring a content studio,
Yep.
and then the follower count is a bonus. So
Yep.
definitely can think about it a lot of different ways. And for anybody that didn't catch the opening keynote yesterday from Neil Schaefer, he talks about that in more detail and exactly how to execute on it. So I highly recommend going back to that one. Awesome. All right, perfect. Thank you, Madison. Thank you so much for your time and for the presentation.